Our glories to Shri Guru and Vrndavana. Mukam karoti vacharam, Mukam mangadevi, Mukam mangadevi, Shri Guru Mataji. Om Jnana Timirandasya Dhananjana Shalakaya, Chakshuritam Vena Tasmai Shri Gurave. So we can pass out these papers again tonight. I would like to welcome you to the second day of our seminar. Shout out to Nishta and beyond, from faith to steadiness and taste and to love of Godhead. Yesterday we had some homework for you, and try to strengthen your faith by trying one of three ways or all three ways. And the first thing that we asked was to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. How many of you were able to hear something today? Very good. Ladies and men, good. You have a chance. Very good. Then the second thing we asked was a more difficult thing, how to apply Srimad Bhagavatam. How many of you were able to do something to apply the teaching? Very good. Anybody would like to share something that you applied? And you don't have to, if only if you want to. Okay, the third thing to strengthen faith was to be grateful to Krishna, to say thank you, Krishna. So how many of you were able to express your gratitude? Oh, wow, well, that's a good one then. That's the easiest one, I guess, to say thank you. But it's not, so every day you can do that. That's not a hard one to do. Might be hard to hear and apply Bhagavatam, but you can always say thank you, Krishna. And don't forget to say thank you, Krishna. Did anybody have something to share about that, about saying thank you? Sometime in some of my seminars, when I was giving in Sweden, one Mataji, she said, yes, yesterday I was saying thank you because the electricity went out and I couldn't use my computer. Usually I get very angry when this happens. He said, but I remembered I'm supposed to say thank you, so I didn't get angry this time. I said, okay, thank you, Krishna, and the light came back. Yeah, electricity doesn't go out usually in the Western countries, but this was a farm, so these things happen in the farms. Yes. You want the microphone? Yeah, we have a microphone. I think you have to come and get it. Yeah, it's just here. So what would you like to say?
Yeah, basically I wanted to tell about second one.
Second, applying Srimad Bhagavatam.
No, that was the first one. What we taught, we should do accordingly.
Yeah, that's second one, yeah. Applying Bhagavatam.
So yesterday, one of my friends' call came and her sister's daughter, she's in an ICU. She's in ICU, just born baby.
Oh, I see.
So then I told her, tomorrow is Ekadashi, I will try to chant more rounds and I will devote all the rounds to the baby. Then I tried to follow that today. Whatever rounds I did extra, I tried to do for the baby. And then I was feeling so much energetic that I am doing some service to some devotee. And I could understand the baby of a devotee. She was not an ordinary baby, but she's a great soul. And she is giving me opportunity to chant more and more rounds. And I followed actually there was one seminar by Vrndavana Maharaj. And I followed the techniques and I could feel I'm getting elevated.
Thank you. That's the best thing is if you try to help others. That's the best way to apply the teaching of Srimad Bhagavatam. Is try to pray for others, help others, give your rounds to others. The mothers, many mothers do that for their children. They give their extra rounds for their children sometimes. So this is a very nice way to help others and also to please Krishna and Srila Prabhupada. If he is happy and you are helping others to become advanced, to become healthy in Krishna consciousness. Okay, anybody else? Yes. Did you turn it off?
I'd like to thank Krishna that I was here yesterday actually, and I was Mataji, I got your darshan, and at the end I was lucky to get the books which you've written. So wonderful. I was reading them yesterday, and in fact the way they've been organized, the illustrations and the chapters have been split as per the theme, and the conversation between Krishna and Arjuna in English, like it was really appreciated, and I found that very good for like if I want to explain to my family or my son or lay people who don't really find it easy to go through the Bhagavad Gita as it is. They find it too, I would say, at a different level. But this was so well illustrated, and I would find it much easier to explain to other people. And plus, I'm a student. I'm still learning from Prabhuji, Kamal Lojan Prabhuji. So this is a really excellent help, and I'm really thanking Krishna that I was here.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And for your appreciation. Thank you. It was Prabhupada's desire. Prabhupada told the artists, I want a picture for every verse of Bhagavad Gita. So we have done that. We have fulfilled that desire of Srila Prabhupada to have a picture for every verse of Bhagavad Gita. So that was the reason we did the book, and now we're doing it for Bhagavatam as well. So thank you very much. So we will go on. Today's class will be talking about two levels of advancement. Bhajana Kriya. Yesterday was about faith and association with devotees. Now, of course, that will continue through every level. You will associate with devotees and your faith will increase. So when your faith is a little stronger, then you come and you start to practice the principles of Krishna consciousness. That is called the level of Bhajana Kriya. So today we will discuss the level of Bhajana Kriya. Now Bhajana Kriya has 6 levels of unsteady devotional service before you come to the level of Nishta. Nishta means steadiness, very strong faith and determination. So before you come to this level, you may struggle. And that struggle has a name. And it's not something that only you are facing. It's a level in the path of devotional service called Anartha Nivritti. In this level, all the doubts come up, and also you will be tested. Many desires will come up, material desires, not only from this life, but from many, many lives. Your desires will come and you say, I never thought about that. How come it's coming? Well, I'm chanting Hare Krishna. So it may be very surprising, but this is a level that all devotees go through. And some may go faster, some may go slower. Some may take many years. As Prabhupada says in a purport of Bhagavad Gita, it may take you 1 second to be Krishna conscious, or it may take you many lifetimes. So we will have 2 verses today. I gave you the sheet. We'll have to share again as yesterday. 2 verses we will discuss today. And the first, the men need in the back, some men in the back side. Okay, if you have extra on the ladies' side, please give them in. Also, so they can have, we probably need more copies of this. Okay, give some over to the men's side. They're short over there. Yes. You have to be merciful. Okay. Yes. There's a hand over there. Please give to this eager person who's new to our class today. Good. So these are verse 17 and 18 we will discuss today, and that is about Anartha-nivritti, also about Bhajana Kriya, and what is happening when you chant the holy name. So verse 17, it is on your paper. I will say one line, you can repeat after me. Shrinvatam Swakata Krishna Punya Shavana Kirtana Vidam Prasto Yavajjani Vidurna Tisurit Satam. So I'll say in English, Shri Krishna, personality of Godhead, who is the Paramatma, Super Soul, in everyone's heart, and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee, who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. So, in Vrndavana, in the winter time, there is fog. Do you ever have fog in Bombay? In Mumbai, sorry, I forgot the new name. You have fog sometimes where the clouds come down and you can't see anything. So in Vrndavana in Delhi, in winter time, it's a very heavy fog. So one time, Bibi Govinda Maharaj was driving with Satsang Maharaj in the fog from Delhi to Vrndavana. In fact, this year he was driving and he met with an accident. His car hit the back of some other car because you cannot see more than 1 meter in front of you when you go in the fog. 1 meter. And if you're going, you cannot go fast. So when there's a fog, you have to move slowly. And it's very difficult to see things. So not only is there a fog outside, we have the fog in our heart, and we're going to go through the fog today and try to reach the sunshine of Krishna's holy name. So if we continuously chant the holy name and we do devotional service, we will get through this fog. The fog is called Anartha-nivritti. Many different dirty things are in our heart. So, is everybody ready to go through the fog today of your heart? Good. So let's go. Will we get some help? And the answer is yes, Krishna will help us. Prabhupada says in his purport of this verse, 17, the Lord is reciprocally respondent to his devotees. Now what does this mean? It means as much as you try to go to Krishna, he will also try to come to you. Of course, Prabhupada said, you take 1 step to Krishna, he will take 10 steps to you. When he sees a devotee is completely sincere in getting admittance to transcendental service of the Lord and has become eager to hear about him, the Lord acts from within the devotee in such a way the devotee may easily go back to him. And Prabhupada says the Lord is more anxious to take us back than we are to go to him. Only a very few men want to go back to Godhead, but anyone who wants to go, Krishna helps in all respects. So, how many of you want to go back to Godhead? Does everybody want? Some are not sure. Some think it's okay here. Yeah, that's all right. You can take a few more births, as many as you like. No problem. But better to go in this life. Better to go this time. So now, this verse is wonderful. If you just hear about Krishna, that's punya. That's pious. And not only ordinary pious activity. This is bhaktya. What do you call it? Bhakti punya. Where you get credits in devotional service. Now, every time you offer obeisance, every time you chant one Hare Krishna mantra, it's being counted by Krishna. And he's putting it in your spiritual bank account. Did you know you have a spiritual bank account? And you know who is the accountant in your spiritual bank account? It's Krishna. He is counting. Now, you also have a material bank account too, if you're not a devotee. For devotees, no material bank account. But the material bank accountant is Yamaraj. He's counting every sin that you do, so don't do that. Better you do spiritual, devotional things, and Krishna will put something in your account. If you, every obeisance, every charanamrita, every donation you give for the temple is going in your spiritual bank account. And if your account becomes full, very, very big, you can purchase something. You know what you can purchase with your spiritual bank account? Who knows? Yes? Krishna Prem, very good. Anything else? Yes?
Ticket to Goloka.
Ticket to Goloka. Yes. Actually, Prabhupada said in a lecture on this verse that when your account becomes full, you can purchase Krishna. Now that includes everything. Because Krishna is everything. But Krishna Prem is the best. We are going, that is our goal. Our goal is love of Krishna. But the devotee actually purchases Krishna. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. So, now the most important thing today was Ekadashi. There was 12-hour kirtan. So that's a wonderful thing to do on Ekadashi. And one devotee asked Prabhupada, I have problems sometimes, and my spiritual master isn't there, and it's too detailed for the scriptures, so what shall I do? Prabhupada told him, if you chant Hare Krishna very nicely, all your answers will come from within. I have that experience when I was teaching Bhakti Vaibhava and Bhaktivedanta course, Srimad Bhagavatam. Sometimes I would not understand a verse, so I would read the verse, then I would chant one round on my japa beads, then I would get the answers, so many answers. So chanting Hare Krishna, when you chant, then you connect with Super Soul. And Super Soul is the reservoir of intelligence. So when you connect with Super Soul, you get so much intelligence. When my son one time, when he was 14, 15 years old, he said, Mom, you know what? If I could talk to Super Soul, then I would not be bored anymore. Now this is a problem for teenagers, boredom. I said, yes, you can talk. You chant Hare Krishna, and he will give you answers. He will talk to you if you chant very, very nicely. Hare Krishna. So that's what this verse says. If you chant Hare Krishna, if you hear about Krishna, you hear Bhagavatam, and chanting Shivatam, Swakata Krishna, Punya Shavana Kirtana, then Vidunoti, Krishna is cleaning your heart. Now, suppose you have a video camera in your heart when you're chanting Hare Krishna very nicely. What will you see happening in your heart when you are chanting? Now in the hospital they have the cameras in the heart when they do the surgery, or when you do surgery they show you on the computer screen sometimes. They showed me my foot when they did foot surgery. Here is your foot, here is the bone, this, that. Now, suppose you have a video inside your heart and you're taking a picture while you are chanting Hare Krishna, very nicely chanting, nice chanting Hare Krishna. What will you see in your video camera? Yes? You will see?
Unwanted things going on.
Unwanted things are going. Okay, how are they going? Well, how is it that if you have the camera, okay, you see the unwanted things. How are they going?
It's changing your behavior. It's changing your behavior.
Changing your behavior, okay. Now, anybody else have an idea? If you have a video in your camera, what do you see happening? Just picture this verse of Bhagavatam. What does it say? Something's happening in your heart when you're hearing and chanting. What's happening in your heart?
Getting clean the water.
What's that?
It's getting clean the
It's
heart.
getting clean, yeah. Yes? Krishna is cleaning your heart. You will see Krishna there, and he's cleaning. And how is he cleaning? With a broom? Satchidananda Swami said yes, with a broom. He's sweeping your heart when you're chanting. He's there with a broom. I see it a little differently, that he's dancing. Because it says when you chant the holy name, first he dances in your ear, on your tongue. First he's dancing here, then he's dancing in your ear, and then he's dancing in your heart. So I see how he's cleaning, he's dancing and he's kicking out over there, like with his beautiful lotus feet. Why he should have a broom? Of course he can also have a broom, it's not ordinary broom. He would have a special broom, but he's dancing, or he may be cleaning another way, who knows? He can just, with his eyes he can do everything. He can just look at the dirt and gone. He can do, just like with a forest fire, he swallowed. He can swallow it also if he likes. And so, this is what's happening. The Lord is cleaning the heart of the sincere devotee of all the dirty things in the heart. So, if you want to hear, Prabhupada says, if one is serious to hear, then he will take out all your dirty things when you chant the holy name. Now, you might be curious about what dirty things, of course you may know already what dirty things are there, but there are 4 categories of dirty things in the heart, according to Harinam Chintamani. First thing is Hridaya Darbalyam, means weakness of heart. Weakness of heart. So just like in the hospital, some people have the weakness of heart. So in the spiritual hospital, there is also weakness of heart. Now, but that is 4 different types of weakness. That is, first of all, attachment to things not related to Krishna. That's the first weakness of heart. Second one is envy. If you're envious, oh, this person has more than me, I should have that. Third thing is cheating and criticizing, fault-finding. That's another weakness of heart. And the 4th thing is the desire to be famous or recognized. These 4 things. So that's under the category of weakness of heart. Now, second type category is aparad or offense. 4 kinds of offenses to the holy name, to the deities and deity worship, to the Vaishnavas, devotees, and to everybody else in the whole world. Animals, plants, people, you name it. That's the 4th kind of offense. Did you know that? You can make offenses to anybody, actually. So this is another problem, dirty thing in the heart category. The 3rd category is called Asat Krishna, means a thirst, a desire to enjoy material things. 4 kinds of enjoyment. You want to enjoy things of this world. You want to enjoy things of the heavenly planets. Or you want to enjoy mystic powers. Or you want to enjoy liberation. Go to the Brahman and merge. Of course, for the devotees, that is hell. That is not enjoyment. But some people think this is enjoyment. And the 4th category, tattva viprama, means ignorance of the truth. Ignorance of who you are spiritually, ignorance of who is Krishna and your relationship with him, ignorance about the process of devotional service, and ignorance about the different levels in devotional service, which we are going to discuss today. So today that ignorance will be finished at least. And most of you know I am certain of Krishna. We will also get into that tomorrow. Now, Anartini Vritti, Satchidananda Swami recommends that to get through Anartini Vritti is very helpful to cry for Krishna. Now, for ladies, this is very easy because it's easy to cry. Now, when you chant the holy name, it's a very good thing. So if you feel like crying, start chanting. Because then that will be dovetailing your crying propensity in the chanting of the holy name. It's good to cry for Krishna. So when something happens and you want to cry, then start chanting. That's really good. And that will make you feel better. Because sometimes we cry and we don't even know why we're crying. So it's good to just cry for Krishna. You feel like crying. Now, sometimes when we are chanting the holy name, material desires come in our mind. And we think, how come I'm chanting Hare Krishna? Why I'm thinking of these material things? Prabhupada was asked this question by a devotee that it seems like when I chant, I get so many bad thoughts, material desires. Before I was devotee, I didn't have these thoughts so much. It seems like now I became worse after I became devotee. How is that? So Prabhupada gave the answer that suppose you have a house that's very, very dirty, so much dust in the house, 2 inches. If you live in Vrndavana and you leave for 1 month and don't clean, then you will get in your house 1 inch of Brajaraj, dust of Vrndavana. So now in the house in our heart, we have got so much dust from millions of lifetimes of desires. And that's why these desires, when we clean the house, what happens? When you start cleaning, the dust is going to fly. So when you start cleaning your heart, it's going to fly also. The trick is not to be attached to those desires. Realize it's not you, it's not your desire. It is something from millions of births that Maya put in your head, or by bad association got it, but it's not really your desire. Just leave it. Let it go. Let it go. Don't go after it. Now, sometimes, here's something from Bhakti Maharaj. Sometimes you're a devotee for many, many years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, and you come to a crossroad in your spiritual life where you have to make a choice. And this is usually happening in this level of anartha nivritti. You have to make a choice, a very difficult choice. Sometimes you have to decide, shall I go forward in my spiritual life? Or shall I go backwards a little bit? And let's take a few steps back and enjoy a little bit, and then later on I will be more serious. Sometimes this decision, this choice comes in our life. And when that happens, when devotees go backwards, it can be seen as a fall down, that you have fallen from your devotional service. Now, Bhakti Maharaj, just before he left his body, he analyzed, he gave an analysis, why do devotees fall down? What is the cause? He gave 4 causes. Number 1, offenses to other devotees. This is one cause why devotees leave or fall down. Second cause is lack of humility. That you become proud. Oh, I'm such a good devotee. And then you make mistakes. You think you can, oh, I'm devotee so long, maybe today I will go and do some nonsense. It's all right. 30 years I'm doing okay, and then only for one time, but then you continue that. So this is one cause of fall down is pride. That I can do anything. And in fact, even when Prabhupada was here, we had devotees. There was a philosophy sometimes devotees don't have to follow the laws of the land. You know, it's like my first time and last time in Moscow, I had a devotee driver, and he didn't think he had to follow the laws of the road. So when he wanted to pass, he would go up on the sidewalk to pass. Of course, in India, it's kind of like that. So, but it was I was really afraid when he was driving. And then afterwards, I found out what his name was. It was Yamaraj. Then I realized, oh, okay. At least maybe I won't die. Yamaraj is here. He won't. But anyway, we have to be careful in spiritual life. It's like a razor's edge. If you go too far one way, on the side of sense gratification, then you may fall down. If you go too far on the other side, aversion. Attachment is one problem. Aversion is another problem. That I don't like this world. Just go away somewhere. And you go away somewhere, away from everybody, and then your mind comes with you. And you can't get away because you can't get away from your mind. So this is the problem. Now it's very interesting that not only in our Krishna consciousness do we have these levels, it is also there in other religions. In fact, Mother Teresa, she's very famous in India. All of you know, you've heard of Mother Teresa. So after she left her body, there was an article in the Newsweek magazine, and they had found some diary, and they found her diary where she was having some doubts about Christ, and she was confessing to her superior. But actually, when I saw that, I understood, she's going through this level, like we all do. We all go through this level of anartha-nivritti. But because she was such a sincere person, she kept on. She never gave up her devotional service to Christ, whatever. So all of us go through that. It's not just, it's anyone who is on the path of spiritual life. They will go through this level. So don't give up hope. Krishna will help us. Now here's the microphone, okay? I have to sit up straight. And I will catch the mic. And now we're going to actually analyze these 6 levels. I think we are. Let me check and make sure. We might have to go to the next verse before we do that. So let's check and make sure before we get into this. These are so many beautiful. Yes, we do have to go to the next verse before we. Yes? 4 causes of fall down. Oh, yeah, I didn't tell you all 4, did I? How many did I tell you? 2. Okay, thank you for that. Okay. This is not one. Okay, now here it is. Here's my page. Okay. Offenses, lack of humility, lack of good association. Right. We should hear these 4 things. And we should follow. Even in Bhagavatam, Bharat Maharaj had some bad association of a deer, and he fell down for 1 life, 2 lives. So be careful of your association. Number 4, lack of understanding of some of the dynamics of advancement in Krishna consciousness. So that's what we're talking about today. How all the things that you can expect to meet when you're on the spiritual path. So, with that, we can go to the next verse. And in verse 17, I'll just summarize. We've heard how the Lord cleans the heart when we do devotional service. And now we heard about the different dirty things, the obstacles, and now in this verse, how to overcome these obstacles. So you have your paper, verse 18, the first paper I gave out to you. Verse number 18. I'll say one line, you can repeat after me. And this is a very famous verse. Some of you may know it if you go to Bhagavatam class. Because we said before we speak Bhagavatam. Nashta prayesha bhadreshu Nityam bhagavata sevaya Bhagavati uttamam shloke Bhakti Vaibhava By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Now, while I'm talking, I would like you to pass these papers back now, because I will give them again out tomorrow. And after this, I will give you another paper, which I will also ask from you back again. And then, so while I'm talking, you can just be passing your papers. Now, the purport. Here is the remedy for eliminating all inauspicious things within the heart which are considered to be obstacles on the path of self-realization. The remedy is, anyway, if you heard the verse, you will know what is the remedy for the obstacles. What is the remedy? Yes? What is that? Hear Srimad Bhagavatam and serve the pure devotees. Very good. So the remedy is the association of the Bhagavatas. Bhagavata association. That's the remedy. This is the cure. So if you want to get free of all these things that are giving you trouble, lack of sleep, no peace, hear Bhagavatam. Serve the devotees. Associate with two kinds of Bhagavatas, and you will become free of all obstacles. So two kinds, the book Bhagavat and the devotee Bhagavat. Now, Bhagavat is a very interesting word. Here it says, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Krishna does not say Nityam Bhagavan Sevaya. He says Bhagavata. This Akras Shukadeva Goswami, Sutta Goswami, they're speaking. The Sutta Goswami, Nityam Bhagavata. Bhagavata does not mean Krishna. It means in relationship to Krishna. That means, Bhagavata means devotee, Tulsi Devi, Srimad Bhagavatam, holy name, Gita, everything that's the temple, the deities. Of course, they are also Krishna, but it is Bhagavata. The deity is Krishna, sorry about that, but the book Bhagavat and devotee Bhagavat. So, person who has dedicated his life to Bhagavan, he is Bhagavata. Now, in the purport also, Prabhupada says, human reason fails to understand how, by serving the devotee Bhagavat or book Bhagavat, one gets gradual promotion on the path of devotion. So there's no logic. If you serve the devotee, there's no logic why you're getting advancement on the spiritual path. You can't figure it out, how it's happening. Now, another thing that's happening here, Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu. That means if you serve the Bhagavat, almost all the dirty things, not all, almost all. So you may wonder, well, how much? What percentage is finished? Prabhupada tells us in his lecture on this verse, 75%. When 75% is finished, then you come to Nishta. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, Nashta Pesha Bhadeshu, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, Bhagavatamashoke Bhakti Bhavati, Naishtiki. Naishtiki means Nishta. You will come to Nishta when 75% of the dirty things in your heart are finished. Isn't that wonderful? And Prabhupada was giving a lecture in Los Angeles. Jayapataka Maharaj was in the class. Prabhupada was saying you have to be 100% free of all material desires to go back to Godhead. And all the devotees were looking so depressed when he said that. He said, okay, 90%. But then devotees were still looking very depressed. He said, okay, 80%. Then finally, he got off the Vyasa-san, he put his shutter, he looked back, he said, 75%. So Prabhupada's mercy, we have a concession here, and there's also the mercy of Sutta Goswami. But Prabhupada is giving us the exact figures, and in another lecture, he said 50-60%. So for those who cannot pass so well the exam, he will help you. He will help you pass the exam at the time of death. You will make up for our lack. And I have a very nice Prabhupada story to tell you that shows how he will help his dear devotees. There is one of my godbrothers named Atmatattva Prabhu. He was in South India, and he had to make life members. And he was not very good at making life members, so he took the phone book and he found one Bengali name. So he phoned up the man and he said, Mr. Ganguly, I would like to come and visit you today. I'm from ISKCON. He said, sure, please come. Went to the office, huge office, and he showed the books, and the man said, yes, I'll become a member and I'll give you a donation also. Membership was 2,222 in those days. The man gave 10,000 rupees. He said, my father grew up in Calcutta. He was a classmate of Abhay Prabhupada. Every day, Abhay would come to our house at lunch and play chess with my father. And the stakes for the game was lunch. And almost always, Abhay would win the game. Later, my father got a PhD in Sanskrit, and he became a professor in the local university. And Abhay told him, now you should help me later on when I do something. Years later, now the son learned, Abhay went to New York, and there's a Calcutta temple. So I was the pujari in that Calcutta temple. This man came, Prabhupada was there, he came to visit Prabhupada, the son. This man who's now in South India. And Prabhupada said, where's your father? Why didn't he come? Tell him, I want to see him. So the son went home, he told his father. Father said, how can I go and see him? He is Guru of the world. I'm Griha Medi. The son said, no, he wants to see you. So what should I tell him? Father said, tell him I'm sick. So he went to see Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, why didn't your father come? He's sick? Okay, I'm coming to see him. Next morning, instead of morning walk, he went through many alleyways, and finally he came to the door, rang the doorbell, and Prabhupada and some devotees went inside, and Prabhupada went straight to the bedroom of the father. He poked him. He said, hey, you didn't come to see me. And he said, my disciples, they need to learn Sanskrit. I told you, you should help me. Come and teach them Sanskrit. You can travel around the world with me. Why don't you do that? You come, I will take you. He said, oh, Swamiji, I'm very old, I don't have any spiritual energy. Prabhupada said, no, you have the spark. The same quality in me is in you. You should join this movement. It's very important. Bharata Bhumite Manusha Janma Vaila Jara. You're born in India. Perfect your life. Better late than never. Then Prabhupada left. 3 o'clock that afternoon, the son came home from school. His father said, please give me some water. Then he leaned back and he said, Bhaktivedanta Swami will take me. And then he left his body. Amazing. That was his last word. So then this man said to Atmatattva, you know, in the morning when Prabhupada said, I will take you, I thought he would take him to ISKCON around the world. But then we understood later what Prabhupada meant when my father left his body, that I will take him. So Prabhupada will take us if we follow him. If we just follow his instructions, chant 16 rounds, he will make up for what we lack. And this man said, when you called, I asked you to come because I wanted to share this with you. In fact, we're already life members of ISKCON. So nice story. Prabhupada, he will take us. We just have to follow his instructions. Dinabandhu Prabhu in Los Angeles also, he said, he heard Srila Prabhupada, he said, you just follow the 4 regulative principles, chant 16 rounds, and you will go back to Godhead. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. So Prabhupada is giving us a special lifetime guarantee. Of course, we have to do our part. We have to chant our 16 rounds, and we have to follow the 4 principles, and he will take us back to Godhead. So very, very wonderful thing Prabhupada has given us. Now I will just share with you a little bit from Chaitanya Charitamrita what is happening when you chant Hare Krishna, what to expect, how scientifically, what are the things that are happening in your heart. This is from Adi Lila, chapter 1 of Chaitanya Charitamrita, verses like 96 to 100, around 100. First thing that happens when you come to Krishna consciousness, Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda come in your heart. Gornitai, they come in your heart. Then, next thing that happens, they help you meet two kinds of Bhagavatas. They show you your guru, they show you your spiritual master, and they show you the books. They show you the Bhagavatas. That's the second. Third thing, when these two Bhagavatas work on you, Srimad Bhagavatam and Devotee Bhagavat, then they give you prema, or loving service. Krishna prema, love of Krishna. They give you pure love, they give you devotional service. Now, after you get love of Krishna, Krishna prema, something else happens. Who knows? What happens after you get, what's higher than Krishna prema? What happens after you get Krishna prema? And it's happening in the heart as well. Anybody can say? Any guess? Otherwise, the verse tells us, you will control Krishna. After you get bhakti, after you get love, Krishna becomes under your control. Isn't that amazing? God who is controlling everyone, you control him. By your love. By your love, you can control God also. So the devotees, they can control Krishna. And there are many examples of this, but we don't have time. Because now we're going to do some work. We're going to analyze the different levels of unsteady devotional service in the heart. Okay, so you have to share this. I think there's not enough copies, but what to do? And we're only going to do half of the chart today and half of the chart tomorrow. Now on your left side, there are 6 different levels of unsteady devotional service. 6 different levels. And try to pass back. Don't worry if you don't have the paper, I'll just tell you what's on it. And hopefully, pass them back. At least one paper for each row should be there. Good. And share the papers. On the ladies' side, they need some more copies. Good. The men are merciful today to the ladies. So we have, on the left side, we have 6 different levels of unsteady devotional service. At the bottom, Utsaha, Mai, false confidence, enthusiasm. This happens when you just first come to Krishna consciousness. You get very enthusiastic, and you think, I am the best devotee. People, it's just a matter of time, they will recognize me. I'm God's gift to this movement. And also, you might get a bit radical in your preaching. Sometimes, especially in the West, they really get too over-enthusiastic. You go home and you tell your mother and father, you know what? You're not my mother and you're not my father. I had so many mothers and fathers and so many births, and I'm not this body. That's not the way to preach. No, that's not how you do it. So this is a mistake that we make when we first become in Krishna consciousness. We may become over-enthusiastic, or you may go on the street and you see some old person and you say your hair is gray, your teeth are falling out, and you're going to die. No, this is not how to preach. This is over-enthusiasm. Or you may say, you're going to hell. This is the first level where you're over-enthusiastic. You don't have much knowledge of the scriptures, but you just have a lot of enthusiasm. Now what happens after a while is the second level. you lose your enthusiasm. And sometimes you're enthusiastic, and sometimes you're not. It's called thick and thin, ghana, parala, sporadic endeavor. Sometimes you're really enthusiastic to chant the holy name, and you get up early and you chant very nicely, but the next day you sleep. You can't get up. Or after a month or so, you think, wow, 1 month I went to Mangalarti, now today I will sleep. I will not get up early. I will listen to my wonderful, beautiful mind, and my mind is telling me, stay in bed. No. So this is second level here. Sometimes you're enthusiastic, and sometimes you're not. Somebody has to call you up 10 times to try to get you to the temple, and then you come, and then you're enthusiastic. Yes. Once you come, you're very happy, but it's hard to get to the temple. It's very hard because there's so many distractions in this world. This is the world of distraction, and now people are very expert in distracting. So many billboards. So second level, third level, vyudha, vikalpa, indecision, extensive speculation. So if you're a brahmachari, you may think at this level, maybe I should get married. Or if you're married, you may think, maybe I should renounce. Or if you're doing some service in the temple and you're not happy, you may think, maybe I should go to another temple and do some other, or maybe you're thinking, oh, maybe I should do a different service because this service doesn't suit me. You may think, actually, better I just go to Vrndavana and chant Hare Krishna. I met one lady who was just 1 month devotee, and she was saying, you know what, I think I should just go and chant alone. 20 years old. I said, you won't be alone for long if you go to Vrndavana. There's a lot of men there. You don't go. It's not the way to do it. First, you should get some training. You don't just run to Vrndavana. So this is the third level here. This is indecision. The fourth level, Vishaya Sankara, struggle with the senses, desire for enjoyment. So this means that you do have a struggle. Sometimes, you're following, you're nicely, but then all of a sudden you think, I have to drink some tea today. This is necessity. I'm drinking for so many years now. Today, I know I haven't been doing 1 month, but today I must have a cup of tea. So this is this fourth level here. Vishaya Sangara, or maybe even worse than that. It could be even more sense gratification than tea. But in India, tea is a very difficult problem. It's not so much in the West. Coffee in the West more. And drugs and so many other things, which we don't want to talk about. So that's the fourth level. Niyamakshama means inability to improve. So sometimes you want to improve, but if you struggle and you can't improve your devotion. So that's the fifth level. You want to get up early, do your sadhana before your day starts, and sometimes you just cannot do it. Or on Ekadashi, you want to chant extra rounds, but you just cannot. So this is the fifth level. And the sixth level is called Taranga Rangani, enjoying material facilities. So this means that you become a devotee. After some years, when you give classes, people say, oh, that was a wonderful class, Prabhuji, Mataji. No. And they say, yes. No, that's called this level. You're enjoying recognition. Or you get a very nice room in the temple and you think, yes, now I have got Mahaprasadam and I have my nice room. So this is enjoying the facility. Or somebody will give you will collect donation for Krishna and you will say, okay, so much for Krishna and so much for me. That's this level, last level of devotional service. So these are the problems that arise for devotees on the spiritual path. Obstacles. So I would just like you to, if you have a paper, you can look at it, and this is you can just think what level I am at, and I'm not going to ask you anything, it's just confidential, just for you. You can just look, sometimes it's one level, sometimes two, sometimes all the levels you may be at the same time. So just look for 1 minute and try to understand which level you are at. because Krishna will help you if you are the truthful devotee. So now I would like you to, so how many were more than one level? In there? Yeah, we have more than one level. Most of us are more than one level, so we have a lot of work to do here. So I would like you to pass these papers back again, because I will give them back again to you tomorrow for the second part of the chart, the right side of the chart. And I will give you now some prayers, which you can keep actually, you don't have to give back. These are prayers to overcome offenses. And if you don't get the paper, just note down the verse, and you can read the verse also. We can have these out. Yeah. So we will say these prayers. Please hand back the papers, the first one, the one I just gave you. And then we will give it back tomorrow for you. Thank you. Okay, you got it? Now this last paper you can all keep. It's not a problem. Okay, I need one paper. I gave one my, I didn't have my paper. So on the last copy, you didn't get one. Okay. Somebody will have to give their paper to me because I gave it to them. Okay, thank you. Then, so the first one is from Canto 10, Chapter 1, Verse 4. So if you don't have a paper, then you can look it up. Yeah, I can give you, yeah. Yeah. Oh, she got one. What's that? Yeah. Oh, okay. Tomorrow you will give everybody. Okay, so I'll say one verse, repeat after me. This is a prayer to overcome offenses. Prabhupada said in the purport of this verse, 10th canto, chapter 1, verse 4. Jivittakasha rupagiyamana Pavashahashotamana virama Kautamashlaka gunanavada Kumarvijeta vinakashuna Glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is performed in the parampara system, that is conveyed from spiritual master to disciple. Such glorification is relished by those no longer interested in the false, temporary glorification of this cosmic manifestation. Descriptions of the Lord are the right medicine for the conditioned soul undergoing repeated birth and death. Therefore, who will cease hearing such glorification of the Lord except a butcher or one who is killing his own self? So this verse is very nice. It talks about different levels of chanting. For those who are conditioned souls, it's medicine. So for most of us, it's medicine. We take our medicine of chanting. But if you're a liberated soul, it's more than medicine. It's very nice. It's nectar. So in the beginning, it may be like medicine, may be very bitter to chant the holy name. But after some time, you will relish the kirtan, you will like to go, you will like to sing. So this is a symptom of liberation. Now, the next one from Harinam Chintamani. Dasha aparadayena hridayena pashe Dasha aparadayena hridayena pashe Kripakari Mahaprabhu Machinanarase Kripakari Mahaprabhu Machinanarase O Mahaprabhu, please be merciful to me so that the 10 offenses never touch my heart and I can always remain absorbed in the rasa of the holy name. Okay. So now I would like to share with you our homework for today. And that is it's not so difficult. It's simple, but it might be hard. Srila Prabhupada was asked how to chant Hare Krishna attentively. Now, if you chant the holy name attentively, this will also clear all the dirty things from your heart. So I would like you to practice tomorrow, and this is what Srila Prabhupada said, 7 words. How to chant attentively, with attention. And this will clean your heart. So just try to chant, number 1, chant, and chant the holy name. Sorry, that's more than 7 words. First try to hear, I got them confused. First you have to hear yourself chant sincerely. Just try to hear yourself chant sincerely. So it's the ears, the tongue, and the heart. 3 times. Try to hear yourself chant sincerely. Very simple. Sincerely means when you chant, you're praying to Krishna, please pick me up, please accept me. Prabhupada said, like a child crying for its mother, you chant the holy name. So this is your homework. Just try to hear yourself chant sincerely tomorrow. That's during japa or in kirtan if you have kirtan. So one last thing I would like to share with you from Srila Prabhupada, how to become empowered. One devotee Prabhupada wrote a letter to a devotee. He was preaching in Germany, American. Why are my books not being printed in Germany? So the devotee said, I thought, I can't speak German. I can't translate them. He said, then I understood, Prabhupada wants his books translated into German, and I have to figure out how to do it. I wrote to Prabhupada, what do I do? Prabhupada said, chant Hare Krishna, and Krishna will give you intelligence. And he said, that was almost always the answer Prabhupada would give us. Prabhupada wasn't the type of manager or leader who would give details. He inspired you to use your creative intelligence. In fact, Prabhupada said there's a kind of individual genius in every living entity. Everybody has genius inside. Genius. So he said, when I looked up the word in the dictionary, genius, the definition was indwelling deity. Can you imagine what the word genius means? Indwelling deity. Who's that indwelling deity? It's Krishna in the heart. That's your genius. Your genius is the Lord in the heart who's giving you intelligence to do everything. How the birds know to fly south, how they know. How the baby knows where to look for the milk. How do they know all these things? It's the super soul in the heart is giving genius, is giving intelligence. So it's not something you or I possess. Genius means Krishna. So if by inspiration of the spiritual master we make ourselves receptive to Krishna, inflow of Krishna, then Krishna, genius, reveals how something should be done. Now this particular devotee, he was a high school dropout. He dropped out before he graduated from 10th standard. But after he became a devotee, he was giving lecture to Harvard professors in the Harvard University about Krishna consciousness. So this is how Krishna helps the devotee. You may think I'm not qualified. Okay, yes, we're not qualified. But Krishna can help you if you allow him to use you as an instrument. So your homework, just try to hear yourself chant sincerely. And you can pray to Prabhupada, to the holy name to help you. And I will stop here. And if there are any questions, you may ask at this time. And we do have a microphone today, so it'll be easier for me to hear what you say. Any questions or comments? Yes. Is the microphone? It's here. You have to come. Sorry.
Mataji, you said that whenever we are chanting and we should actually allow Krishna to come in and give us a solution for the problem as Prabhupada always suggested. How do we know that whatever we are contemplating after the chanting is actually the plan of Krishna or plan of Maya to actually deviate us further? So how do we have the qualification to actually see that what is coming and contemplating is right or wrong?
Oh, very good question. That if you chant, so many things come in your mind. How do you know if it's the answer to your question? So what you have to do when you get the answer, we have our system of checks and balances. There's three things, three places where you have to consult: Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. So Guru means spiritual master, maybe your Diksha Guru, also Shiksha Gurus. And Sadhu means the devotees in ISKCON, Shiksha Gurus also. And Shastra means Prabhupada's books. So all these three, if they agree with your answer, then that is correct. Now how I know sometimes is because I cannot find the answer with my own intelligence. And then after I chant, I get such a brilliant idea. I know it's not from me. I could never have thought of this. This is something beyond my intelligence. Also, I understand this is definitely superior to my intelligence, this answer. Sometimes people will ask a question and then I get this answer and I could have not thought of this in 100 lifetimes, you know. So I understand this is, especially if it's a spiritual thing, a spiritual question and a spiritual answer. Now, of course, we have answers in our life about how to do things. So that's another thing, and then you consult. If you have a decision to make, then you must consult these other three.